Welcome to the Rick and Morgan podcast, presented by Lemon Sports Network. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Ricky Lemon.
Hey, Rick.
What's up, dude?
I heard you went to a location this Sunday.
Yeah, I went somewhere.
And it was a loud,
very crazy traffic.
Dude,
I hate traffic. Can I just say something?
Traffic is what
I
you're
hate
worried
traffic,
about.
and I think everyone who's listening to this hates traffic, but me especially.
Why?
Because it just gets on my a lot of people do dumb stuff when they're in traffic too. Like they won't pay attention to the road. They'll be on their phone because they're like, "Oh wait, this isn't gonna move for a while, so I'll just check Snapchat." And then, you look up and there's 60 cars 60 feet in front of you, and you look behind you and there's 60 cars 60 right behind you.
People have no regard for human life.
Oh gosh, yeah.
No regard. I was sitting in a traffic light today. Literally sitting in a traffic light, and it's one of those lights where it turns green and you have to turn left, but you have to wait for all the cars to pass.
Oh gosh,
but
yeah.
Everyone was coming on that. I missed it 3 times. I missed the green light 3 times because these people wouldn't stop for me. So I just pulled out, honked, and some guys stopped.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was like, forget about it. Yeah. So this fellow was at the Patriots game.
Yeah,
this
I
Sunday,
did go to the Patriots game.
Screaming. I lost my voice on Saturday because of my anger with Patrick Mahomes. But I hate Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
so,
really?
Welcome on into the podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at Lemon, the Rick and Morgan podcast. I was about to say Lemon Sports Network. Oh, thank you, new listeners, for listening. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts / iTunes. Don't know what it's called anymore. You can check us out on lemonsportsnetwork.com, and you can also search us on Google. Please drop a review, and if you listen to this podcast, tell your friends to listen. It's a fantastic world.
Especially if they like football.
Yeah, especially if they like football. So let's get started within the news. So this particular week, it's kind of been a slow week considering all the coach hirings last week, every single one of them.
Yeah.
And this week is kind of a slow week in news, I guess. A lot of people are talking about the weather of the AFC Championship game, which is something we'll do today, but that's a little bit ridiculous. But the first thing on our list is Antonio Brown. He hasn't returned any of the Steelers' phone calls, and it sounds like he's on his way out.
Definitely.
Sounds like he's done.
Did you hear what Jerry Rice said?
No.
Wants to come to San Fran. That'd actually be pretty lit.
That would,
why?
when they said, okay, so there's 2 players.
Jimmy G, MVP.
Jimmy G. There's 2 players that I kind of envisioned going to the 49ers this offseason. Only one's going to go. They can't get both of them. I mean, if they did, all bets are off.
Okay.
Is Odell or Antonio Brown. So I had a feeling that Brown, once the whole trade thing came up, that it might be San Fran because they got that 2nd overall pick. So that they could.
If you're San Francisco, do you give up
the second? It's the 3rd overall.
Do you
pick,
give up the 3rd overall pick for Antonio Brown though? I wouldn't.
What are you getting at 3? There's no running backs. It's all defense. Their defense is already relatively decent. You don't really need to add anything else.
I would add.
It's literally the top 7 or 8 picks are defensive.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad thing.
I'd
usually defensive picks work out.
I'd definitely take a defensive player there.
I would trade.
Dude, if you have
your
offense, I think is already going to be good next year. And if you have a great defense instead of a good defense, watch out.
Think about it this way.
Watch out.
You want to Antonio Brown is on the same level as Jerry Rice. Is on the same level as Jerry Rice and some of the best receivers in history. He's 30 years old.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. No, thank you. No, thank you. You got 3 good years left.
Okay, they probably wouldn't give away that pick, but they have it. So
they do. Dude,
I mean, to me, the way picks turn out, especially the top 3, it's hit or miss. So you might as well go out and get yourself a hit for the next 3 or 4 years while Jimmy Garoppolo's old.
Did you take any receiver in the top?
He's played he started like 6 games.
How many receivers get drafted in the top 3?
Never.
Receivers aren't exactly
No. there's a couple of good receivers in this draft, but this is not a draft if you want to build an offense. So it is a little disconcerting that Antonio Brown is 30 years old, but the guy is such a transitional talent that you might want to think about giving up that pick. But he's going somewhere. I think the contract is another situation for the Steelers too.
Yeah, that's been talked about a lot.
If people don't eat this contract, they're gonna have to give up. They're gonna have to take a lot less. So I don't know. They probably wouldn't give up that first overall pick, but
Dude, imagine keeping the third overall pick, getting a great defensive player, maybe signing another defensive player or an offensive lineman or something, and then trading for Antonio Brown, get for like a second or third round pick.
Yeah.
Watch out for San Fran next year.
That would actually be relatively decent.
And they got Jared McKinnon coming back, so watch out.
McKinnon. So CBS, some writer at CBS did their projections for this. Nick Bosa goes 1. Dwayne Haskins, quarterback to Jacksonville.
Quarterback?
Yeah, they trade up.
And take a quarterback.
Jacksonville trades up and takes a quarterback. 49ers trade back to get picks for
Antonio Brown?
Yeah. Or to garner picks.
How far back do they go in this mock draft?
7.
Yeah, that's not bad. I could see that.
And then they take Clemson defensive end, Cleenan Farrell.
I like that. That would be a smart move.
Yeah, probably.
It's a Bill Belichick move.
Eagles. Unfortunately for me, the Eagles say they're moving on from Nick Foles, not Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz will continue to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Some people are really upset about this.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid. That is a smart move for the Eagles. I was hoping that they would derp out and think Nick Foles is like the GOAT. It is,
but I mean, Nick Foles did have a better year this year than Carson Wentz. There's no denying. And the team was a lot better with Nick Foles than Carson Wentz. And we've said before on the show that maybe he just plays better in Doug Peterson's system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to find out. But if Carson Wentz is like the Carson Wentz from this year and not the Carson Wentz from last year, and Nick Foles goes somewhere and is Nick Foles from this year and the Super Bowl from last year, they're going to get an insane amount of hate.
Especially
from Philly.
I think a lot of people are thinking that Carson Wentz is injury prone at this point. I think they're attributing a lot of this, like the Eagles shut him down because they thought they weren't making the playoffs. And then they won 2 games and miraculously made it into the playoffs. So you're sitting here, and then they get as far as they do with Nick Foles, and it's like, oh, this team's really good. It's awesome, great. But Carson Wentz, he could have played through. If they were in a position, Rick, where they were playing for the division, do you think they would have kept Carson Wentz in there? I 100% believe
they probably would have. Yeah,
they probably would have kept him in there. Like, they were even saying that Carson Wentz might play in that divisional round matchup against the Saints, right? And I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but for them it was, this season's a lost cause. Let's keep Carson Wentz safe. And then when they started winning, they were like, let's just roll with Nick Foles until, the rolling ends type thing. If they had made it to the NFC Championship game against the Rams, to me, I think Carson Wentz probably would have played that game. I don't think they would have rolled with Nick Foles.
I disagree with that. Because if
they really do believe Carson Wentz is the guy, they want to get him some.
The Saints in New Orleans,
they don't care.
With Nick Foles as your quarterback, you are not.
This is what I'm getting from the Eagles, is they don't care.
Apparently, you're right.
If they're gonna roll with Wentz, regardless, if you're gonna roll with Wentz, right? Why not get him some playoff time?
Yeah.
Like, if the Eagles make it to the NFC Championship game, they've already miraculously gotten a long way, and it's not gonna. There's too many hoops to jump through at this point. Like, with how good the top talent in the NFL was, it's not. Yeah, the Eagles they're definitely. It would have been wise of them to start Carson Wentz, but at this point, Wentz is the boy. He's the guy for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's not injury prone.
So
Please stop with the injury prone.
I do.
Stop with the injury prone, people. He's not injury prone.
Oh, we'll see.
A Rams fan, listen to this. A Rams fan started a petition to remove referee Bill Vinovich from this week's game. How ridiculous is that?
That's so lit, dude.
Why don't we do that?
We should totally do that.
I've been listening to a lot of
Bring Ed Hockley back.
Patriots analysts this week, and sports talk radio, and what I've noticed is that the New England fan base really does think Tom Brady doesn't get any calls,
which is crazy.
Considering
very crazy.
There are games where it's blatantly against the Patriots, but there's never been a game where, like, the NFL makes money when it's Patriots versus whoever in the Super Bowl. They really do.
Yeah.
Because people watch for the hate. Like, to me, it would be boring. It would be boring for the NFL. I mean, it wouldn't be boring. People would tune in to watch this, but imagine if it was like Saints Chiefs. That to me would be the most boring Super Bowl left. Out of all the teams, like if it was Chiefs Rams, because if it was Chiefs Rams and it was anything like the game they played earlier this year, holy crap, that's like one of the best Super Bowls of all time. But if it's Chiefs Saints,
yeah, no, that one would be a little more boring. But like I said, this year I think it's a bad comparison with the Brady thing because it's the Chiefs, and the Chiefs right now have a lot of people on that train, especially because people think Mahomes is like the next sort of great quarterback. So. But if it was Patriots Ravens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's like a Ravens Saints Super Bowl, like who would watch that?
I'm not really a huge fan of the Boston fan base in general.
Yeah, I know.
They're like tool bags, big time. I'm a Patriots fan, and I will be screaming my head off at Patrick Mahomes as if I'm a Patriots fan this Sunday. But I find it entirely ridiculous. Tom Brady gets like all the calls, people. Like. He gets all of them. So
pretty much, yeah.
He's the MVP of the league right now. Face of the NFL is Tom Brady, because that's all they had left. Kyler Murray has declared for the NFL draft. Last week we said he was thinking about it. He has definitely declared. It is because of money. I told you.
Yep.
It's because of money.
What a shock.
And also I think it's fame because he gets to start right away in the NFL as opposed to go into the...
Oh, fame is definitely... I mean, you get to play in the NFL versus the MLB.
Because if you wait... Here's the thing, is that for Kyler Murray, he's taking the emotional decision. Some people think he should play both sports until he figures out what he's going to do.
That'd be interesting.
But if he took the baseball route, right, he was going to have to go into AAA for like 3 years. And then he would have to pitch there, and he wouldn't be making nearly as money.
Was he a pitcher? Or was he a shortstop?
Was he a shortstop?
I don't remember.
I don't even know what position he was.
Doesn't matter.
But regardless, it would take him a couple of years to get to the majors, and then it would take him a couple more years to reach the point of arbitration where he could actually negotiate a massive contract like Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is 26 years old, and he can't negotiate. He couldn't negotiate a contract until this year. You have to be in the you have to be in the MLB for 6 years before you have the ability to negotiate a contract and hit free agency. So for him, he would have to wait 7-8 years in order to make $100 million or $200 million or whatever they're paying out at the time. He's going to take the NFL because if you get 3 contracts over that time, you're not going to make the same amount you would in one contract in the MLB. But it's going to take you forever to get to that point. Plus, baseball is boring and nobody watches it. So there's that.
It's true.
I love baseball. Baseball loves me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't love you.
No, it doesn't love me. So it's interesting that he declared for the NFL draft.
I really hope the Cardinals take him, number one. And I really hope they trade Josh Rosen.
It's not going to happen.
New England.
Right now, he's projected to be a late first-round pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that.
So that's crazy that Arizona.
I think simply doing a couple of pro days and going to the combine is going to make him
jump up.
Yeah, jump up on the draft board.
Well, he is
significantly.
So he's 5'11", right?
He's short.
Like that's not a prototypical like first overall pick.
No, he won't be drafted one. They're better off taking Nick Bosa.
That's like
and
taking
just
Marcus Mariota number 1, which he almost was. Can you believe that, Marcus Mariota?
He'll end up as a top 10 pick, but there's only 3 teams that I see really looking for a quarterback at this point, and Arizona's not one of them. Brian Flores is rumored to take. He's going to take the Miami Dolphins job at the end of the Patriots season. That is the stupidest thing you could ever do, Brian Flores. Please stay with the Patriots.
Not only is it stupid, but it's like
inside the division, you're going to get destroyed by Bill Belichick.
His first year, he technically wasn't even the defensive coordinator, was he? He was the defensive assistant, right?
Yeah, that's what he is right now.
So you're not even a coordinator, and you're going to take the head coaching job. Like,
yeah,
he's probably, chances are he's not going to have a good start.
It's better for him to wait a year than take this job. And it
Miami's
sounds like Brian Flores
spot.
is going to take. There's other jobs that you
Miami's
could take.
Not
Brian
a great
Flores.
spot.
I mean,
it's not the worst, but it's not.
You got Ryan Tannehill, but I don't know, man.
Like, he's probably going to go 8-8. And he's
Flores,
probably going to go like
do?
7-9, and then he'll get fired. And then
yeah,
that's it. You're back to a coordinator.
Usually, head coaches from the Patriots tree don't really work out. Bill O'Brien's the only one that I've seen that's really panned out. We got to see. I think this will be. This will be. You know what's funny? So if Brian Flores takes this Miami Dolphins job, it's rumored that is it Brian Schiano? Is that right? Or Greg Schiano?
Greg Schiano, I think.
Is that what his name is? I don't know, but the Pats are rumored to go with him because Bill is friends with him. I think they should just fill the role for 1 year, wait for Patricia to get fired,
and bring him back.
And bring him back.
That'd be lit.
If Bill stays around that long. And then the only other coaching position that's open is the Bengals head coaching position, where they're rumored to be going after Rams quarterback coach Zach Taylor.
That would be an interesting hire.
That's an interesting hire, but not a good one. The Bengals, man, you have so much hopes. And see, what I don't understand is that they have, and some people will disagree with this. Andy Dalton is a decent quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, decent. Okay,
I could give you.
Would you rather have Ryan Tannehill or Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Wow,
I don't know.
That's a hot take, bro.
Dude, no, you're treating Andy Dalton like he's good.
He is good.
No, he's not.
Andy Dalton
good. blows. He blows sacks. I was gonna say something else, but
Andy Dalton had.
He's okay. I'm not gonna say
2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions.
11 interceptions.
10 games, I think.
So 20 10 games. It's not that bad. So he was on pace for how many interceptions? 11 picks in 10 games?
Yeah, he's like Eli Manning almost when Eli was in his prime, which blows.
Andy Dalton has never won a playoff game either. He has AJ Green, who's one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Do you put that on Andy Dalton?
I put some. I put most of it in Marvin Lewis, but I definitely put some on Andy Dalton.
But you do have a developed quarterback in Andy Dalton, and he's getting up there in age, 31 years old. But why do you hire Zach Taylor? Like, what is the appeal of that? Jared Goff was interesting this year. He was good, but he was interesting.
He was great and then fell off.
Yeah, so I don't understand the hire. Maybe let Zach Taylor, like, if you really want to look at it.
We're going to turn Andy Dalton into Jared Goff.
This is what I don't understand for teams that are doing this situation right now. Like the Dolphins offering Brian Flores a job and the Bengals offering Zach Taylor a job. If you believe they're the guy, go out and get them. But Zach Taylor has never run an offense in the NFL before. He's a quarterback coach. And you're going to jump him up to head coach in the NFL? Like, no one is out there begging for Zach Taylor's job, Zach Taylor's job, I guess. They're not running around going, I want Zach Taylor, Let him go, be an offensive coordinator for a year, and then if he's good, then sign him as your head coach. But, like, why do you have to be here doing this? I mean, I guess the head coaching position's open, do it, but I don't understand the signing. Let's move on to forced opinion. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, they rolled. They shredded.
Absolutely toasted
the Chargers. Does this change your mind about them in the AFC Championship at all?
No.
In what way?
Okay, maybe a little bit, but not really, actually. Because what were the things that we were saying why we picked the Patriots? At least me.
Yeah.
It takes a special team to beat New England in Foxborough. Keyword there, in Foxborough.
Yeah.
They are not a great team on the road this year at all.
Mm-hmm.
In the playoffs, I know they've only played 3 games, but they're still 0-3 their last 3 road playoff games. And what was the stat you told me? They haven't won a road playoff game since who was in office?
President Bush.
Yeah, that's a long time
2006, I think.
Yep, against the Chargers, right?
Yep. No.
They beat the Chargers in the divisional round, then played the
On
Colts
the road?
in the AFC. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that game? Yeah.
Yep. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. So no,
And,
it doesn't change my opinion.
So here's the thing. I
think it changes a little bit because it killed them though.
I also want to note that the New England Patriots also have only played 3 playoff games.
Right. That's still 0-3 though.
So it is 0-3, but they really haven't. It's not a sample size that you could really pull. Like if the Patriots had played 10 road playoff games and lost them all, then
that would be extreme.
You'd be like, oh, this team blows. So there's a lot of people. There's one side. There's one side of the house saying, well, the Patriots haven't been that good on the road. This is what I say to the haters.
Oh gosh,
the haters of the road Patriots this year.
Weren't you just saying how much you hated Boston fans? Or something
this year, the New England Patriots were 3-5 on the road. 2 of their losses came from a ridiculous, stupid, freaking play against the Miami Dolphins in a game they should have won, and they had in hand. They just took the foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, let the Dolphins back into it, and then when they got the ball back with 1 play left on the freaking their own 40, and then pulled some miraculous play. Like that to me is a win, right? And I hate to play this game of saying that to me is a win. It's obvious a loss, and they're 3-5. But let's give it to the Pats. Check it off the box.
Okay, so
what are they now?
4-4.
If they had won that game against the Miami Dolphins, they would have went into Heinz Field and probably won that game.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Because it's a week-to-week basis.
Do you think
the
New England Patriots had a mental effect on losing that game? Like the way they lost it.
I mean,
do you think
maybe,
that has
but
a mental
you could
effect
also
on the
say like if they
preparation
lost
and
against Miami, there's no way they're going to lose. Like hindsight is 20/20, but at the time, there's no way that they're going to lose to Pittsburgh because they don't lose back-to-backs. So it's like no. So I disagree with that.
I mean, I'm not saying the Patriots would have won against Pittsburgh. I'm just saying it might have made a difference.
Right now.
I'm fishing.
I think you're fishing.
Even so, Pittsburgh was basically playing for the playoffs at that point. Had they lost that game, they would have been pretty much out. So they had to win that game. It was in Heinz Field. It doesn't surprise me that going into that game, I thought the Patriots were probably going to lose. So it doesn't surprise me at all that they lost that game. But you look at those 2 games; those 2 were winnable games. I look at they went 1-2 to start the season, right? 1-2, yeah.
I think so.
They lost to Detroit and Jacksonville, or something like that. So all of their games they lost this year are on the road. 2 of them, to me, should have been wins. And it's no people like the Gronk act like Gronk, or if you put Matthew Slater on the field, they could have tackled Kenyon Drake going full speed in the end zone. Like, stop. Gronk just looked like an idiot flopping around.
He did, yeah.
So they didn't expect that whole play to happen, but there should have been 9 different tackles. Bill probably shouldn't have put some guys on the field. So there was a lot of different things happening in that game. My point is, the Patriots very well could have finished 5-3 instead of 3-5. So to say that they sucked on the road is irrelevant to me. I think that it could have easily snapped your fingers and all of a sudden the Patriots are 5-3. Like, I think there's a world where that could have happened. And I think that the Patriots really were, like I said, they were that close to 5-3, right? On the road. Would that have been a bad road team? Would people, if the Patriots won against the Steelers and the Dolphins? No,
but you're fishing, dude. You're like, they're that close to 5-3. They
really were. Yes, they were, my dude. So you can okay. They were that close to 4-4. It doesn't really matter. We were
that close to 4-4 isn't a good good away record.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't good on the road. I'm not saying that they were.
You could say a lot of things about a lot of teams saying that.
A lot of people are saying that the New England Patriots lack mental toughness on the road. And I disagree with that fully. I just think they lost a couple of road games at the beginning of the season because the Patriots never win at the beginning of the season. And then on the back end of the season, they lost on a ridiculous play and then followed it up with a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers where they had to win at home to keep their playoff hopes alive. So you're telling me the Patriots have no mental toughness? I think they were just like, frick this. We're going to make the playoffs. It doesn't really matter anyway. Yes, I agree. They haven't had that mentality in the past, but something changed this year, and Tom Brady is thinking like that. All season, he was running onto the field, doing a little 25-yard trot and not firing up the fans and pumping his fist or whatever the crap he does when he comes out of the tunnel. All year, just ran 25 yards, went straight to the sideline. Didn't do that, right? And everyone was like, Tom Brady, something's off this year. He doesn't have as much energy. He's just not. He was saving it, people, because he went all 100 freaking yards and did his little pump up thing at the beginning of the game. Whatever gets Tom off, he can do whatever he wants. But I think the New England Patriots have been saving this all year long. I think that they were going into this AFC Championship game. I mean, they were going into this divisional round game, and they were looking at the Chargers, and they were going, this is it. Like, we've been waiting all year to kind of shred this team. And I told you after the Jets game and going into the wild card weekend, I said that the New England Patriots, that one drive at the end of the game when there was like 5 minutes left against the New York Jets, and Tom Brady was like, he came onto the field, they were up by 20, and he just like bang, 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 touchdown. And it was like, that was a team that was like, okay, they're showing us something right here.
Yeah.
And then they went into this game against the San Diego.
Put it in the jar. Where's the jar?
Freaking San Diego.
I was just going to say,
the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles.
Yeah, there you go. I was just going to say, too, that our jar would be filled right now. And I was also going to say, good thing the Patriots won this week, so you don't have to say San Diego anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Last podcast, I get to screw that up. Listen,
we'll find a way next week.
But the San Diego right after we talked about it, too.
How much money is in that jar?
Move back to San Diego,
Let's go to the Super Bowl.
Please. Move back to San Diego, please. No, so the Los Angeles Chargers,
there you go, bud.
They are literally, to me, they were the third best team in the league.
In the regular season?
Yeah, so Rams, Chiefs, Chargers. They came into this game, the Patriots came into this game to them as underdogs, but they came into this game thinking everyone thinks the Chargers are one of the best teams in the AFC, and it deserves to be the Chargers deserve to go to the AFC Championship and face off against the Chiefs because they're the second best team in the AFC. It wasn't like they went in to the Colts or went into face the Colts in Arrowhead, right? Mm-hmm. And where the Chiefs completely destroyed the Colts, and the Colts looked terrible. And we looked at that first quarter and we were like, what is this team? Like, they looked like the Colts ran into a buzzsaw against the Chiefs, right? And then we follow it up with this. The Patriots did literally nothing. You were watching it live, like at the game.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of it post, like on your phone or anything?
Not too much. I saw the Brady comment though about how.
So, watching it at home and seeing all the like camera angles and just the Patriots single-handedly, like this wasn't the Chargers playing bad. This wasn't the Chargers choking. This wasn't the Chargers sucking, right?
They had some choky moments.
This was the New England Patriots completely executing a game plan that they had wrote up for 2 weeks.
The Chargers also didn't have a good game plan either.
This is a common agreement among all analysts that what the Patriots did to the Chargers was not the Chargers choking. They scored 28 points in that game. And yes, the Patriots took the foot off the gas at the end of the game because
they
scored
2 touchdowns, no less.
But I think that the Chargers, they didn't play awful. I mean, Phillip Rivers had 335 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I don't think they played awful, but the game plan was not good, especially defensively.
No, it wasn't good at all.
Patriots.
But to me, I think the Patriots just execute. If the Patriots had not executed their game plan the way that they had, it would have been a lot closer of a game. So the way the Patriots played this game, they won it. They won it.
Yeah.
And I think not only did they win it, but they were just Tom Brady was out, and like I think it was Scott Zolak before the game. I was listening to him kind of talk before the game started, and he said that the Chargers sideline the whole entire warm up has looked dead. And he said, I don't know if they're just saving it for the game or whatever. He's like, I'm not going to read too much into it, but they don't have any energy, they don't have any life in them, and it looks like they're just cold and want to go home almost. And the Chargers were cold and didn't even show up.
Some people were saying that's because they were focused, but
yeah, stop.
Didn't turn out that way.
So the Patriots, to me, I was trying to decide if the Chiefs would win a game against the Patriots if they beat the Colts, right? And I was like, after that game from the Chiefs, playing the Colts and just dominating them in the first quarter, really.
Yeah.
And scoring 21 points, I think it was, in the first quarter and a half. and just putting up a huge lead on Indy and destroying them, basically. I was like, this is not going to look good for the Patriots. Going into Arrowhead, they haven't played great on the road this year. All the stuff, you want to line it all up. I'm like, the Pats win against the Chargers. I think I said it to you. I'm like, it's pretty much done. Like, I'm not. Yeah. This is not going to go well. I'm like, I said I'd rather lose to the Chargers in that game than lose to the Chiefs this week. And then the Patriots did what they did against the Chargers, and it was like, holy crap. Like, this is not just a football team that came out and executed a game plan very well and won. They destroyed one of the best teams in football. They ripped their pants off, shoved them over, and gave them a wedgie at the same time. And Phillip Rivers went crying to the referees, and it didn't work. And it was just a complete and utter. If there was anything that would change my mind over what I saw the previous game for the Chiefs, it was that. If they go into Arrowhead and do anything close to that, the Chiefs aren't winning that game.
I think if it's a close game too, like within one possession
Andy Reid will
game,
puke.
Andy Reid's gonna puke, yeah, big time. He's gonna forget how much time there is left on the clock.
What's the Andy Reid buffer? How many points do we got? How many points do you have to be? How many points does he have to be up by to not blow it?
Double digits, probably. For me.
I would say I would say 17. And the reason why is because the Patriots can completely. Rick, here's why I say 17. It's because
that's a lot, dude.
The Patriots could score
like in half.
They can stop Patrick Mahomes if they need to, just for one drive. Bill will come up with something to stop him just for one drive. He'll save like 3 plays and he'll be like, okay, we'll use these for that. What'll happen is they'll score, go for 2, get it, stop Pat Mahomes, score, go for 2, get it, and all of a sudden Andy Reid's like, why you stole my timeouts? That's why it's 17 because the Pats can't do 2 scores to get it back. It'll probably be more like 14, I would say. That's more realistic. But if you watch that game after watching the entire season, Rick, the entire NFL season, in every single Patriots game, and you watch that game and tell me that wasn't a different team, and that team, if they go into Arrowhead, is not going to shred the Chiefs.
I don't think it was that different of a team. I think they played really well, but like they played the same way they've been playing all year.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I guess. To me,
short passes, great runs.
The reason why it changed my mind is because of it was just the level of talent on the other side. And to me, like I said to you, to me, the Chargers didn't choke in this game. It wasn't like a Chargers choke where, Phillip Rivers made 6 to 7.
Phillip Rivers actually played.
He played very well.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon didn't show up, but that was this was the Patriots' game plan. It was shut down Melvin Gordon, let Rivers do whatever he wants. And to me, the Chargers they didn't come up with a good defensive game plan, but they literally, I don't think the Chargers choked in that game. I think they just ran into a complete and utter juggernaut of a football team and was like, oh, frick, we're not in the same class as this team. And it was just kind of like, if you watch the whole game, I suggest to go like watch it on YouTube or something.
I watched like a 10-minute clip after I got home.
It's crazy. It was just like watching that game live. It was so, like, you got halfway through the second quarter and you're like, this freaking thing's over. There's no way.
I thought the game was over the moment we recovered the punt.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
So after a long monologue for me, I guess, I'm going to say it changed my mind. The Patriots, if they play like, there's 2 sides of it. If they play like they did against the Bills in Week 16, they'll lose the AFC Championship game. If they play like they did Week 6 or 7, I think it was, against the Chiefs, where they won 43-40, they lose the AFC Championship game. If they play 90% or 85% of what they did Sunday, 85%. Because that to me was 99.99999 execution of a game plan.
Yeah.
If they go out against the Chiefs and they execute their game plan at 85%, they beat the Chiefs. If it's close, they beat the Chiefs. I don't think the Patriots can blow out the Chiefs. And
No,
even if they do, Patrick Mahomes can come back.
Right, I could see that
we've
like
seen
21-0 lead, and then boom.
yeah, and all of a sudden it's 21 because they score so fast.
Yeah,
That's the thing about the Chiefs.
they can just throw the ball. 80 yards.
I don't think to me it's not Patrick Mahomes. It's just how fast the Chiefs offense operates. Like they have Tyreek Hill.
That's a lot of Patrick Mahomes though.
Yeah, I know. I guess but when you have a guy as fast as Tyreek Hill,
Tyreek Hill is amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's
the fastest. He's the fastest wide receiver in the NFL. And if he gets off, as man, he's going to burn them. And I think that's how they can score so fast. It's the chunk plays. They're
right. Yeah.
They're not good at formulating a 8-9 minute drive. Like the Patriots are good at that. Like Tom Brady could dink and dunk his way down the field and turn it into a 9-minute drive and then walk off the field and score a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes can't do that because he's not that type of quarterback. He's a chunk guy, which is why this is what I realized this week in the 3 days I've been coming up with stuff for this game, right? Is Patrick Mahomes is not a short passing quarterback, and he's not. Don't blitz him. That's not going to work.
Yeah,
that's what he does best. He rolls out of the pocket. You can't do.
You also have to play man.
The Patriots played man. They played cover 0 the entire game against Phillip Rivers, and he was confused because their whole offense is constructed around the fact that they throw deep. So when we blitzed him, he didn't have any like solution to it. You can't do that against Pat Mahomes. You have to do what the Chargers did, which is cover 6, cover 7, and that's what confuses Pat Mahomes. Don't let. You're gonna have to have 3 zones in one area for Tyreek Hill. Unfortunately,
you're gonna. I mean, what's worked best against the Chiefs though is man, and you have to have a safety deep because
you can't blitz.
You can't blitz.
I mean, if you get to him, you get to him.
You have to have 2 safeties deep actually against the Chiefs.
You have to. You also have
probably a QB spy.
Yeah, I noticed too at the end of that game what I found was interesting is that they were. I don't know if they were practicing their QB spy plays at the end of the game, but they were having 3 guys rush the quarterback, and they were getting there because for some reason the Chargers' offensive line just
gave up.
Yeah, they gave up, and but they had 2 or 3 guys drop out into like
coverage a little bit.
Not coverage, QB spies. So I think they need to have a linebacker as a QB spy, and they need to do some
Van Noy.
Kyle Van Noy. They need to do some contained blitzes. And that means setting the edge and getting to the quarterback from the outside and making sure the other guy's getting on the other side too. Because in the game against the Colts, which I think Bill will show them a lot of film in the second half, they collapsed the pocket many times on Patrick Mahomes, but there was nowhere for him to go. And that's how you got to stop him. If you're going to rush him, don't rush him dead down the middle. Like if you're using a defensive tackle to rush him down the middle, he's going to get squashed.
Yeah.
You'll fall flat on your face, and he'll be scoring a touchdown and doing ridiculous celebrations. So, the Patriots need to. Unfortunately, the Patriots are one of the worst teams against chunk plays, and the Chiefs thrive on the chunk plays. They thrive on big plays down the field. So we got to move on to the next point. The Saints had a tough start to their divisional round performance against the Eagles. Are the Saints overrated?
Not really. I don't think.
Yeah.
The Eagles played a good game. I think. I mean, if you look at the Rams, for example, they had a tough game against Dallas too.
Yeah.
Everyone had a tough. I mean, even the Chiefs, who outplayed the Colts, still didn't blow them out. The only team that blew out a team was the Patriots, obviously. But no, I don't think the Saints are overrated. They still played relatively well, but no, I wouldn't say they're overrated.
I think the Saints are overrated.
Okay.
For the last, they had. To me, so you go back and you look at the Saints season so far, right? And you dissect some of their games all the way from the beginning of the season, and they had some good offensive performances, but there was this 4-game stretch, and it was when they faced the Vikings in October, right? They faced the Vikings, scored 30 points. Faced the Rams, scored 45. Faced the Bengals, scored 51. Faced the Eagles, scored 48. Faced the Falcons, scored 31. As soon as December hit, Rick, this is their scoring outages. 10, 28, 12. They scored 31 against the Steelers and then 14 against the Panthers to end the season. And then against the Eagles this past week, they scored 20. Their offense doesn't look like the offense that started the season.
That is true.
Drew Brees he looks like a 40-year-old quarterback, and the Saints defense has been good, but it's not that hard to stop Nick Foles. So
I don't know. It has been this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about the Saints. They're an anomaly for me. They're my Super Bowl pick, but they're not playing the way that I want to. Like, you would think walking into a locker room with $220,000 worth of cash and a Super Bowl trophy and a ring inside we would kill the Eagles. But you come out and you start the game 14-0. Now, their defense shut down the Eagles for the rest of the game, and they scored 20 points and they were able to win. But not until, like, it wasn't even Nick Foles' fault. Alshon Jeffrey missed the catch, and they were driving. They were driving to score that game. So the Saints almost lost. And you think that that's going to go into LA and win? I'm talking to myself right now. Like,
that's not going to LA though.
Oh, they're going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're still not going to win.
Really?
Yeah. Well, considering that both LA teams have been on the road the whole year.
That's true.
I do think playing in New Orleans is hard, but they almost lost in New Orleans to the Eagles, for crying out loud. I think the Rams can and might beat the Saints. I haven't decided yet, but I do think the Saints are playing some overrated football. And I think that a lot of people are freaking out about the Saints when they're not really that good. Their offense has not been that great. Even Kamara and Mark Ingram, they've been good, but they haven't been like when Kamara came in the first game of the season without Mark Ingram and, went off for like 2 touchdowns and I think it was 200 all-purpose yards or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the guy they need the full time. This is why I think they need to get rid of Mark Ingram and just do it full time with Alvin Kamara. It's a waste of time to use 2 backs, like it really is. But I just think the Saints' whole team is overrated. I think that people really like them, and I think they're the fourth. After seeing them play, to me, they're the 4th best team left.
Wow, that's borderline hot take from your Super Bowl team, bro. That's
from
your
my
Super Bowl
team. I might take against them this week. I'll make some revisions.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if I should stick with the bracket or be a flake and take.
I already know.
Switch.
Do you know who you're taking this week? Because I know who I'm taking.
I'm thinking about it as I go.
I've decided.
Let's go to point number 3. The Chiefs dismantled the Colts this week. Dismantled. Was this a choke job for the Colts or a dominant win for the Chiefs?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think the Colts had opportunities that they just choked away, but that Chiefs defense played really well, and that they did, dude.
I don't know, man. I think it was all choke job.
Go rewatch some of the game, bro.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
You're nuts.
I needed to watch Andrew Luck choke again.
The Chiefs defense did play well.
I'm sorry, Andrew Luck, that you had to lose this game. I wish you hadn't.
Moment of silence. The Chiefs played really. The Chiefs' offense at least played really dominant during the first 2 quarters, but you know, I don't know. It's tough.
So tough. It's so tough. So the reason why
they did kind of choke away.
I think the Chiefs played their game.
They did, yeah. The first half.
They did what they needed to do. Here's the thing that I noticed about the Kansas City Chiefs that I think you can take note of too. Whenever the Chiefs have a lead, Rick, do they ever take their foot off the gas? Never.
Sometimes, no.
Not generally. Really. It's because Pat Mahomes is out there and he's a young kid that wants to run up the score, and that's fine. I totally think it's okay to run up the score. If you want to beat a team, if I'm playing, right, and I'm going to get beat me. Like, beat me bad. Like, do have your way. Like, if you're going to beat me,
oh my gosh,
beat me. Like, you know what I mean, though? Like, don't take it easy, because that's like oh, wait, well, you know what? We're not going to beat you as bad because we feel bad. No, shut up and just beat the freaking crap out of me. Like, come on.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But, so for me, I think Andrew Luck, and this is why I think Andrew Luck in the offense completely choked. And the special teams completely choked. Because I think they came out, the Colts were completely antsy, defensively and offensively. They were nervous. They were freaking out. Andrew Luck took the ball first, couldn't move the ball down the field. Mahomes scored, couldn't move the ball. Mahomes scored, couldn't move the ball. Mahomes scored. By the time he got that, it was like, 21-7?
Yeah.
I forgot even what the score was. So they were up by a lot. And that's like we were just saying. Patrick Mahomes, high-flying Chiefs offense, they know how to score fast.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you can be looking up at the scoreboard and it be 21-0, and you're like, what just happened? And that's just how the Chiefs play. That's what they do. I think the Colts just completely choked because that defense came out, they played bad to start, and then they shut down Patrick Mahomes through the rest of the game.
Very good in the second half.
They were very good in the second half. They were even good at the end of the first half. And so they were playing well. They gave so many opportunities to Andrew Luck to score. So many. And he couldn't pull it off. Rick, I'm telling you right now, Adam Vinatieri hits that stupid field goal at halftime. It's 24-10. Is that right?
Something like that.
They would be down by 14. Then there was the defensive or special teams or whatever it was scoring play. Adam Vinatieri missed an extra point. So you give that to them, 16 plus the extra point, 17. They're only down by 7. In the fourth quarter, they strip-sacked Patrick Mahomes, got the ball in scoring position to go down the field. Had all of those little tiny things, the 2 kicks by Adam Vinatieri, had those gone through, do you think there would have been a little more momentum going towards the Colts' way for Andrew Luck to go, okay, I can go 25 yards and score a touchdown?
Yeah, but what's the...
Because that's how close... the people are like, oh my God, they blew out the Colts. Like, no, they really were. They were 2 terrible kicks by Adam Vinatieri and Andrew Luck not choking his life away like at the end of that game. He had like 7 opportunities to score, and he did. And like this is why I think it's a choke.
But that's why I think the Chiefs played very well defensively.
I think, they played well defensively.
The Chiefs' D-line killed the Colts O-line.
To me, I don't give the Chiefs' defense credit when Andrew Luck was complete garbage. Like
he didn't play great.
It wasn't like Andrew Luck was just being dominated by a defense. His throws were off. He was inaccurate. They looked like
the
Peyton
pass
Manning
rush was getting
ducks.
to him, dude.
That
O-line could not last against the Chiefs' defense.
I think the Chiefs' defense played well, but I don't think they played as well as people say they did. I think, like, going into this game in the AFC Championship game, does that concern you for the Patriots? No.
Chiefs' defense? No,
not at all.
Really.
And especially the run. Like, they completely, this is the problem with the Colts, is that they set up their pass with the running game.
Yeah,
and they got down so early that they couldn't
threw the game plan out the window.
They threw the game plan out the window, and they didn't really do many adjustments on the offense. Now, Colts add some receivers. They add some more players in the offseason, bolster that offensive line. They're gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
but I think
be a Super Bowl contender next year.
I think the Colts joked. I think they were like, oh, it's snowing. They went dome team. That defense, Frank Reich, he's got something going there. Like, that defense was really good. Like, they literally
it's
in
weird
the
on
second,
paper you would think the defense is not that good.
Right. And it really is. But I look at it and I think that it's like, I don't know, it was just what the Colts did in the second half. Bill Belichick better be watching that film and going, okay, this is what they did to stop Pat Mahomes. Like, even the blitzes, Like, they sacked him 3 times in the second half, and there was a strip sack. Like, that's not normal for Patrick Mahomes. And you know, one thing I noticed, Rick, is that late in that game, Patrick Mahomes was getting frustrated. Like, he was going to win, and he was getting frustrated because he couldn't move the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of interesting. But let's move on to the Patriots Minute, where we will
actual minute, please.
The actual minute. We'll talk about the New England Patriots for 1 minute. Hopefully we have maybe 2 weeks of this left, and then we'll go. This might be it. Will the weather affect the New England Patriots this week?
Yeah, it will.
Positive or negatively?
Positively, because
I love it.
Because the Chiefs in 9-degree weather are not going to be throwing the ball all game, and Mahomes is going to be going like this all game with his hands. Yeah, the whole Chiefs offense will. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an ugly game the colder it is, and ugly is a good thing for the Patriots.
Do you know I can't remember where I heard it, but there's only been a certain amount of games under 9 degrees. And in those games, the highest score was 17 points. It was like
wow.
That
helps New England a lot.
The over-under was 31. 16-17 was that game. That was the highest scored game. So this could either blow that out of the water and be like a 50-point game like they're projecting in Vegas, or
I don't think it will. I think it's going to be similar to the game last week with the Chiefs and Colts.
I think it's going to affect the fans.
Was that a minute?
Minute over. I'll stop there. Let's move on to limits buy or sell. The Cowboys will win a championship with Jason Garrett. Buy or sell?
Sell. My gosh, this is the hardest sell I've ever had. They're not going to get. They're not going to. I don't want to say get to an NFC Championship.
I would sell my entire life.
I would sell my life savings.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys, unlike most of America, and I hate the fact they kept Jason Garrett. Like, that is so stupid. And you know why? It's because he's a yes man to whatever the loser.
100%, yeah.
Like, I don't want to say this, but I will. When Jerry Jones gives up the ghost, the Cowboys are going to be really good. When he's not there anymore. Go away, Jerry Jones. The only reason why Jason Garrett's still there is because he takes complete control of that whole team. I mean, that he doesn't take complete control of that whole team, and Jerry Jones can do whatever he wants. So I'm going to sell that. They need to get rid of Jason Garrett. Number 2, Andrew Luck is a choker. Buy or sell? The ones that the women wear on the necks.
He's not a choker.
He's like a choker.
He's not quite like that. He did kind of choke this week though, but I wouldn't say, he's had too many clutch moments to call him a choker, especially last time he played Kansas City in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm going to sell it because I think that Andrew Luck is very good, and I want him to. He did.
You're in love with him. This
week, he kind of let me down. He really did. He let me down. Andrew, stop. He almost made me for a second think that he wasn't the lead anymore.
Whoa.
And I don't know. I love Andrew Luck, but he's got to do something to not like fold in those games. And the problem with Andrew Luck is that he needs home field.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Desperately. So I'm going to sell it for now. I'll say for now. Number 3, the Chiefs' defense is underrated.
So they had a good game, but I wouldn't say they're underrated, especially because like a lot of people in the media now are saying that they're
good.
That they are good, which they're not. They still kind of stink. Not many Patriot fans. If you ask Patriots fans, what are you worried this week against Kansas City? Oh, Arrowhead, Patrick Mahomes. That nobody's
40th?
saying the defense.
What's 40th? Defense.
Yeah.
There's that one fan who doesn't watch football. Defense, because it wins championships, and they say the Chiefs are good. I'm going to sell it. The Chiefs' defense is not good. I think they played one good game, and you can't really play that many good games in a row. So I'm going to sell that big time. Let's move on to our playoff prediction pick'em. So just a recap of Wild Card Weekend. I went 2-2, unfortunately.
Divisional week.
Divisional week, sorry. Said the wrong thing.
You went 2-2. What did that go?
Why did I write Wild Card Weekend in my notes? Completely ridiculous. You went 4-0.
Oh,
I went 2-2.
Sorry. Can you say it one more time?
You went 4-0,
okay,
and I went 2-2. I picked the Colts and the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I picked the Cowboys solely out of not jumping off the train.
Yeah.
So forgive me. My analyst was picking the Rams, but I'll take the L. And then the Colts was just, I didn't know it was going to snow, people. I didn't know it was going to snow.
That doesn't make too much of a difference.
Dome teams always lose in the snow. So I'm 5-3. Rick's 5-3. Tied again.
This is a big week.
Yeah, there's 3 games left, so let's not. If we tie, we have to take separate Super Bowl teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. I don't know who you're picking, though, and you don't know who I'm picking.
Yeah, that's true. So right now, currently, as it stands, for our playoff bracket that we predicted at the beginning of the year, I have the Saints winning the Super Bowl and the Patriots in the Super Bowl losing for the second straight year. Rick has the Chiefs losing to the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So in this pick'em segment, we can take against what our bracket originally stated.
This is a completely different thing.
So let's start with the AFC Championship game, Patriots Chiefs.
This one hurts. You know why it hurts?
Why?
I'm picking the Chiefs. That hurts me even more.
Still picking the Chiefs.
I am picking the Chiefs. Now, what I will say, though, the 9-degree weather thing, that makes me want to pick New England. That alone makes me want to pick New England. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to go Kansas City. I just think it's, in Arrowhead, I just think it's too much for New England to handle.
I'm going to have to take the New England Patriots.
Oh, there it is.
After what they did to the Los Angeles Chargers,
Almost at San Diego.
Almost at San Diego. What they did to the Los Angeles Chargers was just a complete unpantsing.
Yep.
And Patrick Mahomes, young quarterback, Andy Reid chokes in the playoffs. Arrowhead going to be really cold. They still have 10,000 tickets they haven't sold yet. So to me, that crowd's not going to be fired up in ruckus. I certainly hope not. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be real cold, and I think the New England Patriots are going to win that game. It's going to be close, and if it's a close game, here's the thing, is that in cold weather, the Kansas City Chiefs cannot get their offense high. Like, everything moves slower.
Yeah.
That's why people go to the ground, and if the Chiefs are in a low-scoring affair or a close game, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. If it's a high-scoring affair, which is not expected, then I think to me, the only way the Chiefs win this game is if they get out early, like they did against the Colts, which they can. But I don't know if they will, considering what the Patriots did against the Chargers defense. Against the Chargers defense, I think Pats take ball first, do an 8-minute drive, score a touchdown, open the game, and Patrick Mahomes sitting there in a 9-degree weather going, I just warmed up 40 minutes ago, and Tom Brady's out here taking the entire quarter.
I don't fully disagree with what you're saying. I just think
Patriots win.
I just think New England on the road is just in Kansas City, especially.
There's a lot of variables. I also have thought about that too, and I don't like that, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the NFC Championship game. So I got Patriots in the Super Bowl. You got Chiefs.
Yep.
This one was an interesting little situation.
Now, who
go
do
ahead.
You have?
Choose your.
Go ahead. I want
you want me to go first?
I went first last time. Yeah.
I'm gonna take the. I'm gonna take the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna be going against my takes earlier. I was talking to myself, trying to get myself to make the right decision, but I'll go with New Orleans. I'll stick with my pick. I think that New Orleans has enough experience to kind of beat the Rams. The Rams really didn't have much of an opponent last week against the Cowboys, so this is the game. The Saints get a second shot at the Rams. This is their chance to do it. So if you can't pull it off, you can't pull it off. But I think the Rams are gonna go ground the whole game, and I think this is one of the only teams in the league that can kind of match that.
Okay. Going off what you said earlier, I think the Rams are gonna win this game. I'm sticking with my bracket as well as you were sticking with your bracket.
Yes.
I think the Saints, they weren't that impressive last week.
Nope.
The Eagles almost beat them. The Rams, sure, it was a close game against the Cowboys, but they controlled that game.
Yeah.
They controlled the entire game. I think the Rams are just the better team.
Right.
I'm not saying the Saints are a good team. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be a really good game, but I think the Rams get revenge from week 10, was it, I think?
The Rams beat the Saints that game.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
No.
Oh.
The Rams were undefeated, and it was the game that...
Oh. Yeah, I think the thing that threw me over the top was also the fact that the Saints are at home. I really want to take the Rams. The analyst in me is screaming Rams.
Rams.
It's gonna be a fun weekend, or a fun Sunday, I should say. Both games are on Sunday. NFC Championship game 3:30. AFC Championship game 6:40. Patrick Mahomes 1-4 in primetime.
You threw that right out there, didn't you?
New England Patriots are going to win this game. Let's go. Roll it.
I'm rooting for the Patriots.
Do you know that Bill Belichick never wins a Super Bowl the year Alabama wins a national championship? Oh, wait. Clemson won.
Oh.
New England Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
You got any final thoughts, Rick?
Mahomes, I've loved you every week. You're my favorite player to watch in this league every single week.
Take a flying leap,
But
Mahomes.
this week,
I hate you.
I hope your ankle snaps in half. Go Patriots!
No sympathy. All right, dude. No sympathy this week.
Let's go Brady.
See you later, Rick.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Rick and Morgan podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and check us out online at lemonsportsnetwork.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Rick Morgan Pod. See you.